All right, thank you guys. Happy Tuesday to you. And if you really end up enjoying this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up by hitting that like button. And if you haven't already joined the Brock Page delegation, please feel free to do that right now by tapping that subscribe button below. Now, we got ourselves a very nice slate of college basketball action here on a Tuesday, so let's go ahead and dive into it. And we're going to start with South Carolina versus Missouri, and that's going to be a 7 p.m. Eastern tip-off. The Missouri Tigers are minus 5.5, totals 144 flat. And if you like the Gamecocks to win this one outright on the road here this evening, South Carolina is plus 215 for some money line cash. Now, did you know that we're hitting at 69% in our last 17 Underdog tier package picks on Patreon? That's right. And if you want to access today's Underdog tier package pick, it's just $4.99 if you click the link in the description section below. We currently have over 1,000 members signed up and active on that page. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that site, once again, is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, South Carolina's played only 6 games thus far in the season, and they've already lost 3 of them. The Gamecocks are hitting just 30% of their three-pointers, and they find themselves allowing 71 points a game. South Carolina is officially 0-2 straight up as the dog this season as well. They're taking on a Missouri squad who's been victorious in 4 of 5 at home this season, and they hold their opponents to just 24% shooting the 3-ball in that same category. Xavier Pinson scoring 14 points a game for the Tigers, 4 boards, and 82% shooting from the stripe. Drew Smith is also scoring a dozen a game himself, along with 3 boards and 3 assists. Smith has also recorded 21 total steals on the season defensively. Missouri gives up just 66 points a game, and they have a defensive field goal percentage of just 39%. Now, total-wise, 4 out of Mizzou's last 5 contests stayed under the line. They're also 6-2 to the under in their last 8. Meanwhile, South Carolina saw 2 out of their last 4 stay under the total themselves, throwing out the LSU game. Give me the Missouri Tigers minus 5.5 and the under 144. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for Tuesday's college basketball action. Once again, happy Tuesday to you. Hopefully you guys had an excellent start to your week. Now, before we go ahead and dive into some more free content right here on YouTube, I just have to quickly remind you once again that we are hitting at 69% in our last 17 Underdog tier package plays on patreon.com/BrockPage. And if you want to unlock today's Underdog tier package play, it's only going to cost you just $4.99. And just remember, guys, when you sign up for a membership on Patreon, you're going to get access to all the lesser expensive memberships absolutely free. So once again, when you sign up for one of my memberships on Patreon, you're going to instantly get access to all the lesser expensive tiers absolutely free. Basically, the way it works is the cheaper memberships are included with your purchase. And for those out there who are wondering what the difference is between my free picks here on YouTube and my Patreon site, well, that's certainly a great thought, a great consideration. If I were you, I'd probably be thinking the same thing. So what I do on Patreon is I make life a lot easier for you as I break down the daily card and focus in on just 3 to 4 premium selections per day. They're my personal plays, games that I personally have action on. And I'll tell you this much, I'm having a lot more success betting on games that way in smaller sample sizes versus wagering on every single game that's on the slate, side and total, like I do here with my free leans on YouTube. Now, guys, we currently have a community of over 1,000 handicappers who are signed up and active on that site right now as we speak. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. All right, moving on, we're going to take a look at, I believe, some Big Ten action here. Our next game is going to be, like I just said, in the Big Ten. I'm talking about Maryland versus Michigan. Now, earlier in the season, this would probably be one of those marquee matchups here. But anyway, still should be a good game. Once again, Maryland versus Michigan, 7 p.m. Eastern tip-off at the Chrysler Center. Michigan's the 10-point favorite at home. Numbers 141, juice to the under. Now, the Wolverines are undefeated in 9 tries at home, 11-1 straight up overall for the season. Michigan is also covering 75% of their ball games for the entire year, and they're scoring 82 points a night at the Chrysler Center. Hunter Dickinson scoring 17 points a night along with 8 rebounds. Meanwhile, Isaiah Livers is also scoring 14 points a game himself, along with 6 boards and a couple assists. Livers is also shooting a ridiculous 96% from the foul line. That's better than most professionals out there. The Wolverines are holding their opponents to just 35% shooting from the field at home. They're taking on a Maryland squad who lost 3 out of their last 5, and they scored just 62 points a game when they travel. Now, total-wise, 3 out of Maryland's last 5 road games stayed under the line. Michigan is 3-0 to the under in their last 3 outings themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Michigan Wolverines -10 and the under 141. All right, next matchup I have for you, it is going to be in the SEC. I'm talking about the Vols versus the Gators, 7 p.m. East. The Tennessee Volunteers are -7 on the road with the total at 136. The Vols are on a 3-game winning streak, 10-1 straight up overall for the season. The Vols are giving up just 57 points a game, and they hold their opponents to just 38% shooting from the field. Victor Bailey Jr. is scoring a dozen a game along with 2 rebounds and 89% shooting from the stripe. Meanwhile, senior forward John Fulkerson's scoring 12 a game himself along with 6 boards and a couple assists. Tennessee scoring nearly 78 points a night offensively. They're taking on a struggling Florida Gators team who just lost 3 out of their last 4, and they give up nearly 72 points per night. Now, total-wise, 5 out of Florida's last 7 got over the posted number. Tennessee's 2-1 to the over in their last 3 themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Tennessee Volunteers -10 in the over 136. All right, next contest. It is going to be on the West Coast. I'm talking about USC versus Oregon State, 7 p.m. Eastern tip-off. The USC Trojans are -11 on the road. Numbers 137.5. Now, USC's failed to cover the point spread in 2 out of their last 3. Those were failures to cover against the likes of Washington State and UC Riverside. Now, the Trojans have also lost 8 out of their last 11 traveling to Oregon State. I believe that is failures to cover. I'll have to double check that. I think they failed to cover in 8 out of their last 11 traveling to Oregon State. But regardless, as good as they are scoring-wise, this Trojan team is shooting just 33% from beyond the arc. They're taking on an Oregon State program who's won 4 out of their last 6, and they average over 77 points a night on their home court. Now, Ethan Thompson scoring nearly 17 points a game, along with 3 rebounds and 4 assists. Jared Lucas is also scoring 13 a night for the Beavs, 2 boards and 94% shooting from the stripe. Oregon State is holding their opponents to just 29% shooting from 3-land at the Gill Coliseum. Total-wise, the Beavers' last 4 straight ball games all got over the posted number, 75% to the over in their last 8. Meanwhile, USC's last 2 straight got over the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Oregon State Beavers +11 and the over 137.5. All right, next matchup, it is going to be Penn State versus Illinois, 8:30 p.m. Eastern start time. Illinois -9, totals 152.5. Illinois 6-2 straight up at home this season, 83 points a game they're averaging, and 41% shooting from downtown. Ayo Dosunmu scoring nearly 23 points a night for the Illini, 7 boards and 5 assists for the guard. Meanwhile, Big Kofi Coburn scoring over 17 a night himself, along with double-digit rebounds. Now, the 7-foot center from Jamaica also has recorded 18 total blocks on the season as well. Illinois is making nearly 52% of their field goals, and they hold their opponents to just 63 points a game in the State Farm Center. They're taking on a struggling Nittany Lion program who lost their last 4 straight, and they shoot just 39% from the field when they travel. Penn State's just 1-3 straight up on the road this season, 3-5 straight up overall for the year. Now, total-wise, Penn State's 11-4 to the under in their last 15 meetings with Illinois. Meanwhile, 4 out of the Illini's last 5 contests stayed under the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Illinois Fighting Illini -9 and the under 152.5. All right, next matchup, it is going to be in the Big East. I'm talking about Seton Hall versus Villanova, 9 p.m. Eastern tip-off at the Pavilion. Nova's the 9-point favorite at home, numbers 140 flat. Villanova's won 16 out of their last 17 meetings hosting Seton Hall. The Wildcats are also 8-1 straight up on the season, 6-3 against the number in those contests. Villanova scoring over 80 points per game, and they're holding their opponents to just 67 points per contest as well. Jeremiah Robinson Earl is scoring 16 points a night along with 8 boards and a couple assists. Colin Gillespie is also scoring 15 points a game himself along with 3 boards and 4 assists. Gillespie is also drilling over 44% of his three-pointers. They're taking on a Seton Hall program who failed to cover the number in 2 out of their last 3. One of those failures was a 36-point beatdown to Creighton. Now, Seton Hall is allowing over 75 points a game when they travel. And when it comes to the total in this one, Villanova's last 3 straight ball games got over the posted number, 71% to the over in their last 7. I'm going to lean toward the Villanova Wildcats -9 and the over 140. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Duke versus Pitt. 9 p.m. Eastern start time at the Peterson Event Center. Duke's -4 on the road with the total at 144 flat. And if you like the Pitt Panthers to win this one in an upset, they're plus $1.55 on the money line. Now, Pitt's on a 2-game winning streak, 7-1 straight up in their last 8. The Panthers are scoring 77 points a game at home, and they hold their opponents to just 39% shooting from the field. Justin Champagnie is scoring 19 points a game along with 13 big rebounds. Meanwhile, junior Aldis Toney is scoring 16 points a night himself along with 6 rebounds and a couple assists. Pitt's holding their opponents to just 24% shooting from beyond the arc at home. Now, they are taking on a Duke team who's covered the point spread just once this season. That was just once out of 8 contests overall for the year. Now, the Blue Devils are allowing 72 points a night. Meanwhile, their opponents are connecting on nearly 39% of their three-pointers against them. Duke's also failed to cover the number in 6 out of their last 9 meetings with the Panthers. And when it comes to the total in this one, Duke saw 5 out of their last 8 ball games stay under the posted total. 6 out of their last 9 meetings with Pitt also stayed under the line. And speaking of the Pitt Panthers, they are 5-1 to the under in their last 6 outings themselves. So with all that said and done, I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the underdog Pitt Panthers +4 and the under 144. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our quick pick recap, once again brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we are currently hitting at 69% in our last 17 underdog tier package picks. I'm going to lean toward the Missouri Tigers -5.5 under 144. I also like Michigan -10 under 141. I like the Tennessee Volunteers -10 over 136. I'm also leaning toward the Oregon State Beavers +11 over 137.5. I like Illinois -9 under 152.5. I also like Villanova -9 over 140. And before I give you our next and final game for the show, please give this video a thumbs up right now if you enjoyed it. And please feel free to hit that subscribe button right now if you haven't done so already. Give me the Pitt Panthers +4 and the under 144. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into some shout-outs. Once again, brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage. And from our YouTube platform, shout out to Donald Loper, Sean Nash, Gold Eagle 99, Don Bainham, Will Voigt, J.L. Kinney, Alan Reese, J.G. Alvarado, Just Jordan, and last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to my man, Luis Perez. All right, guys, that is going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys decide to get a package here today, just keep in mind, we'll bill you the day you sign up, and then the first of every month following that, Also want to keep in mind that if you end up buying a package here today, all the cheaper, lesser expensive packages are included with your purchase. But most importantly, guys, gotta thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Tuesday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.